Hey everyone. So today our assignment is like programming assignment 3, which we are making an improvement to the previous assignment which we did with creating our own datetime server. So in this assignment, what we will be doing is we will be using the same exact code, but instead our host and servers will be working as both client and server. Client in the sense when it's retrieving information from the NIST server, and as a server when we as a client from the local machine is accessing the data. So our host and server will be acting as a proxy between our client, which is the local machine, and also the NIST server. Whenever we make a request from our client machine, which is local machine, our server will take the request, grab the information from the NIST server rather than getting the information directly from the client or the local machine. Host and server will grab the information from NIST server and send it back to our client or the local machine. This would be the whole process, and here is the code. I still went ahead and created both C code and Java code for this assignment. The datetime server.c and the server.h are the both files which are needed on the server, and we will be running it on our hostwind server. Datetime client.c is the one which we will be running on our local machine to connect to our server and get the NIST time server info through our server. We have put in our port number as my date of birth and server address for the hostwind server. And same thing goes with the Java as well. Datetime thread.java and echo server.java will be sitting inside the server machine, and the datetime client.java will be residing on our client machine, and we will be executing it from our local client. Let's go ahead and start with the execution of this. So if you can see here, we have both the terminals open. The left one is on our hostman server. As you can see, root is the user. HWA server is the hostman server address, and this is our box number. And let me go back a little bit. So this is our root folder, and if you can see the ls, there are like all the folders for the programming assignment till now. Let's go into the proxy time server code for now. This I have already sent the code over to the server using my FileZilla application from my local machine into the server. I do have two folders, C and Java here, and on the local, the right side is the local machine, and in my one folder, if you can see, we have the same files here. Let's go ahead with the implementation and the execution of server and client executions with C code first, and then move on to the Java part. cd c ls. We will be running the server part on the server. Let's compile that first. We do have all the same files on both the machines, but we will be creating the executable for only the server files on the server side and the client files on the client side. Let's compile the server code here. The output file will be datetime server, and the receiving file will be server.c. Once the compilation is done, if you can do ls, we see an executable file called datetime server in the folder itself. All we need to do is like run the datetime server on the server. See, the server is up and running, and we are waiting for the connections. And similarly on the client side, we will be going into the C code folder. ls, we will be creating an executable file for client code, and the executable file name will be datetime client. If you can do ls, we see the executable file here. Let's go ahead and run this one and see if it is returning the NIST timestamp string from NIST server through our server to our client machine. As you can see, it's working fine, and we are awaiting acceptance of our client connections on the server side, and the client code has been closed. We can run it again and again. And similarly, let's go ahead and deal with the Java code right now on the both threads. Go back to the Java folder. If you can see, we do have all the three files on both the machines. Let's clear it out for the sake of easiness. Let's compile the code here. Datetime thread.java. That is the core file with all our logic in it, and echo server will be the one which is acting as server file on the server side. All we need to do, we don't need to run both of them. Datetime thread needs to be compiled even before echo server has been created, because echo server has a dependency on the datetime thread, and we are implementing datetime thread into echo server. All we need to do is like run the echo server class file. We are waiting for connections on port 1283, 12893, and on the local side, let's compile and make an executable for the client file, and we can make a connection from there. You can see Java C datetime client.java is created. If you can see, the class file is created, which is the executable Java datetime client. See, we got the file and we can do it again and again. And all this code is based upon the multi-threaded code which we have used and created in the programming assignment 2. Thanks.